Welcome back. Thank you to Anchor for the sponsorship. So
Shout out
back
Anchor.
to it. Shout out Anchor. Back to it with top 10 third baseman. So starting off with number 10.
For me or you? Who's going to start?
I started it last time, so if you want to start it this time,
I don't
go ahead.
want to start.
You want me to start? I'll start.
Wait, okay, fine. I forgot. Who do I have at number 10? I should have been more prepared. Anyways, number 10, I have White Sox third baseman Yoan Moncada. So, Yoan Moncada, he's still relatively young, 25 years old, out of Cuba. This guy was the number one prospect in baseball for quite a while. He kind of got off to a slow start to start his career. Never really has hit above 235, except for 2019, which he just randomly hit 315. And that's kind of the reason why he's even on this list. But also in 2018, we got to point this out. He struck out 217 times. But if you look past the strikeouts, this guy is a stud. He got some MVP votes in 2019, 25 bombs, 79 RBIs, and OPS at 915, 140 OPS plus. First career in OPS plus of 111. And he's entering his prime. So I'm looking for him to really break out next year. Obviously, like last year, shortened season, so what? Doesn't really matter. Only 705 OPS, but really, I think Yoan Moncada is a fantastic player. Let me pull up his defensive stats, see if he's okay. I think he should be okay.
It's a -6 DRS.
But I mean, you're not going to see many positive DRSs at third base. So
yeah, fair enough.
Not atrocious.
Fair enough.
But let me just find what I was looking for. Yeah, obviously, if he can cut down the strikeouts, this guy's a legit player. I remember seeing him in Gwinnett. He almost hit the apartments over in right field. So I'm not making that up. He had a bomb. So he has a lot of power. Obviously, if he can cut down the strikeouts, I know I just said that. But anyways, who's your number 10?
My number 10 is Cincinnati Reds third baseman Eugenio Suarez. Suarez doesn't hit too much for average. He's very average. I mean, he hit 283 and was an all-star in 2018 to go along with 34 home runs. He has a career OPS plus of 114. He had 49 home runs in 2019, which I believe was I think it was second in 2019 behind Pete Alonso, I want to say. I think that was correct in the National League. The one downside to Suarez's game, much like Moncada, he strikes out a lot. He led the league in 2019 with 189 strikeouts. He's got to cut down the strikeout. He had 67 in 57 games in 2020. He's got massive pop. He had 15 home runs in 2020. The guy is just a home run waiting to happen. Defensively, I was actually surprised he's not. He's actually a lot better defensively than I thought. He does have 4 defensive runs saved in his career. So that was very surprising, in my opinion. I didn't think he would be that good defensively. Obviously, at third base, it's hard to have a positive career defensive run saved unless you're like a guy at the top of this list, which one of them has an insane DRS. So Suarez, I think not a lot of people talk about him over there in Cincinnati. He's, middle of the order guy. He has been for a few years in Cincinnati. So Eugenio Suarez at 10.
Number 9 for me. Boston Red Sox. He's one of the few guys left there. Third baseman for the Red Sox, Rafael Devers, is my number 27. And I've always been pretty high on Rafael Devers. This guy's only 24 years old. A career year in 2019. Led the league with 54 doubles and led all of Major League Baseball with 359 total bases, 32 homers, 115 RBIs. Doesn't walk too much. That's the one part of his game that I don't like. Career OPS of 830, 916 in 2019. Career OPS plus of 115 over his 4-year career. And he's only 24 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Very high on this guy. I think Devers obviously needs to be a little more patient at the plate. He doesn't walk much. Not incredibly speedy either, but if I'm being honest, he is pretty bad defensively. So that kind of cost him. I feel like he would be, maybe closer to 5 in that range if he was more consistent with the glove, or just better with the glove in general. But obviously the slugging last 3 years, very high, 501 the last 3 years. And I think Devers, this guy's potential is through the roof, and he's only going to get better too. So he's eligible for arbitration next year. So, and he's a free agent after 2024. It'll be interesting to see if the Red Sox do sign this guy to an extension. This guy's potential is through the roof. He was a big part of that 2018 World Series team for the Red Sox, and look for this guy to do big things in 2021. Who's your number? Wait, did you do number 9? Yes. Wait, no, you didn't.
No, I have not done.
No, you didn't. 9. Go ahead. Do your
My number 9 is our old friend, Josh Donaldson.
Wow.
Josh Donaldson at 9. I wanted to put Josh Donaldson higher in this list. Career-wise, this guy is really good. His 225 career home runs, a career batting average of 272, 136 OPS plus. Obviously, we know the year he had in 2019 with Atlanta. He had a down year this year, obviously, but 2020 doesn't weigh too much on everything that's happened. This guy is really good defensively. Career-wise, very underrated defender. 31 defensive runs saved in his career. 15 in 2014 with Oakland. And then his MVP year with Toronto was, I don't think he had as good a year defensively. He had a negative 3 defensive runs saved that year, but third base. So obviously his MVP year. I mean, the guy hang on, let me pull it up. He hit 297, 41 bombs, 123 RBIs, which led the league. He had a OPS plus of 151, was an all-star, obviously. I wanted to put this guy higher on this list, but you have to understand how stacked third base was. It was so hard to put guys, I wanted to put a lot of guys in my top 5 that I couldn't. Josh Donaldson was one of those guys that I think could have been anywhere from 9 to 4 potentially, but just the guys I have above him, I like a little bit better statistically and just on the field, But Josh Donaldson is at my number 9.
My number 8 is Josh Johnson. So, a lot of the things that Luke said, he's 35 years old, but he's still like a very solid player. Battled injuries last year. The bringer of rain. We saw him in Atlanta in 2019. This guy is a 3-time All-Star. He's won an MVP award, won 2 Silver Sluggers, and he's just he's awesome. And people really doubted him before 2019, having lots of injuries like late in 2017 and battled a lot of injuries in 2018 when he was with Indians for a period there. Um, but he started his career in Oakland, and we saw his defense was insane. Back in Oakland, but very well known for diving in the sands, diving into the tarp. Those plays were just insane. I mean, what's there not to like about Josh Donaldson? He's just a fantastic player, and he's out of Auburn University. Boo! But he was actually originally drafted as a catcher by the Cubs in the first round of the 2007 MLB draft. He actually came up as a catcher, which is kind of a little known fact about Josh Donaldson. But his slugging has always been elite the last 3 years, despite battling a lot of injuries. 499 total. But if this guy's on the field, he's going to have a huge impact for your team. We saw that in 2019. Yeah, he got off to a very, very slow start in 2019, and they started hitting the ball the other way. And I can't even tell you how many homers. He hit 37 total on the year. How many of those homers were hit to right or right center field? If this guy can hit it to the opposite way, maybe to the chop, like in the direction of like chop house or the right center field bullpen at I guess at that point it was SunTrust Park. If he can do that with the Twins, he'll be very successful. But obviously last year, battled injuries. He's still really good defensively. Last 3 years, 10 defensive runs saved. Doesn't strike out he strikes out a fair amount, but he also gets on base a lot. He draws a lot of walks. On base percentage, he's hovering around 370 the last few years, even with the batting average down a little bit. Josh Donaldson is my number 8. Who's your number 8?
My number 8 is Justin Turner. Justin Turner at my number 8. This is a guy that has 124 career home runs. Not the biggest power guy. He'd have 27 2019, a career OPS plus of 128, an 838 OPS, a 469 slugging career. Nice. This guy doesn't strike out. He rarely strikes out. The most strikeouts he had in a season, 107 in 2016. He had 54 in 2018 and 88 in 2019. That's not something you see a lot nowadays. You see a lot of guys, swinging for the fences, swinging and missing. A lot of strikeouts, high strikeout rate. That's not Justin Turner. In the postseason, this has been the Dodgers, this has been one of the clutchest postseason hitters since I've been around, since I've been alive. He's been, you watch this guy for the last however long he's been with the Dodgers. He's hit so well in the postseason. He also has 18 defensive run saves in his career. Very underrated defensively. I don't think too many people talk about his defense at third base. And that's the reason I have him at 8.
At number 7, I have Justin Turner. So basically, I'm just following his lead, but obviously mine is I had Josh Donaldson a rank lower. I had Justin Turner a rank lower, but Josh Donaldson is my number 7, and as you said, an absolutely phenomenal player in the postseason. Big part of that. Big part of the Dodgers the last, how long has he been there? Since 2014. But this guy wasn't an everyday hitter until 2015, and he only hit 16 bombs that year. But the year before, he hit 340 with an 897 OPS. So once this guy got to play every day, he's been nothing but phenomenal for the Dodgers. And Dodgers just, for some reason, always just find guys that are just hidden gems. So, like they found Max Muncy from the A's and Justin Turner from the Mets. Thank goodness Braves don't have to face this guy on basically a weekly basis. Almost like I feel like that's how often we play the Mets. But thank goodness the Mets didn't give him a shot to play every day, because then he would just kick our butts every day. But a career OPS for Justin Turner at 128. He has one defensive run saved last 3 years. Not the greatest defender, but obviously he's a little older. I think he's just celebrated his 36th birthday back in November. He was actually originally drafted by the Yankees, didn't sign, and then he was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds. It was traded to the Baltimore Orioles, where he started out his career, I believe, and then he was claimed off waivers by the Mets. So once upon a time, this guy was claimed off waivers. So to all those people who are commenting on my page when we pick up a guy, just like a random guy off waivers, stop complaining, because they might be the next Justin Turner. You never know. So I'm just telling y'all to hush on my page, because it's not that big of a deal. Anyways, Justin Turner, just a phenomenal player. And, we've seen it last couple of years. Braves just haven't been able to beat the Dodgers. We were close last year. We were so close. And I wish we would have been able to make it to the World Series. And I feel like we were a better team than the Rays. But I feel like if we had just won, game 4, game 6, or game 5, game 6, game 7, any of those games, we could have easily been World Series champions last year. But Justin Turner was a big part of that team, and a big reason why the Dodgers were able to come back in that series. So, as you said, not the biggest power guy. Career high was 27 homers that came in both 2016 and 2019. This guy will easily play like 130 games a season, at least. Does not strike out, as you said. 469 slugging it for his career. Yeah, you said it. Nice. And he's at my number 7. And let me just, before we get... Actually, no, I'll just say it after you share your number 7. But go ahead.
All right. My number 7 is Kris Bryant. Kris Bryant has a career batting average of 280, 134 OPS plus. This guy won the MVP in 2016, and he had a 292 average, 39 home runs, 102 RBIs to lead that 2016 Cubs World Series team. He got the final out for that team of a historic that play will probably be played in MLB history for a long, long time. He strikes out. He does strike out a lot. He led the league in 2015 with 199 strikeouts. He's a 3-time All-Star, though. If he could if he could improve one thing, it'd be striking out, much like the rest of the league. And not the best defender. I actually was very surprised when I looked at his fielding stats, how they weren't as good as I thought. Actually, a negative 15 defensive runs saved.
Kris Bryant sucks.
All right, cool. But Kris Bryant at 7.
Oh, you had nothing to say after that, huh?
No.
So let me just point this out before we even get started. People are not going to like my number 6. People are not going to like this pick. People are going to be like, you should rank this guy higher. I say, no. Well, I have a legitimate explanation as to why. My number 6. This actually is so weird for me to say, because I wish I could put him higher, but he's with a new team. He's with the St. Louis Cardinals right now. I have Nolan Arenado at 6.
What?
He's a Cardinal now. That is not a hitter's ballpark. His stats away from Coors Field were not good. Were not nearly as good. I feel like his stats were heavily weighed by his home road splits. I know this I'm kind of like baffled that I had to put him this low, but like I know you said what, but I mean the stats do back it up. His home road splits from 20. I'm not going to go with my 2020 stats because away games like whatever, like it's 2020. It's a short season. I don't care. At home in 2019, last full season, hit 351 at home with an OPS of 1.057. Away, he was still pretty darn good. I mean, but like not the same kind of player. He had 277, 866 OPS. In 2018, he hit let it load 347 at home, 248 at home, or 248 on the road. 2017, he hit 283 on the road, 336 at home. OPS always over 1,000 on the road. But so I don't think that this guy's going to be the same offensive player in St. Louis. I think he's still going to be good. I mean, he's still top 6, but just looking at the other 5 guys, I feel like I like him more. A little more because obviously St. Louis is not a hitter's ballpark. Busch Stadium is not a hitter's ballpark. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but really, I feel like he's not going to put up the same production that he did with the Rockies. And I know you can make an argument because TJ LeMahieu went away from Colorado and started raking in with New York, but that's just because DJ LeMahieu was just a big time contact hitter. Arenado's, he's not the greatest contact hitter. He's a kind of a power kind of guy, but obviously that power is going to be like on your side at a stadium like Yankee Stadium. So Busch Stadium is just about the opposite of that. So obviously his defense is still like really legit. I wish I could put him higher, but obviously you got to take into consideration his stats away from Coors Field. He's not going to be playing there hardly at all anymore. So I think he's going to be due for a little bit of a regression here in 2021. So that's why he's at number 6. And as I said, I wish I could put him higher, but that's my prediction for this coming season. Bold, huh? Who's your number 6?
That is bold. That is bold. My number 6.
Can I guess?
You can.
Is it Matt Chapman?
It is not.
Never mind. Go ahead.
My number 6 is Alex Bregman.
Let's go. We can put an Astro this low. Thank you. All right. I like it. Go ahead.
Alex Bregman. I don't like Alex Bregman anymore. I think I'm going to put that out there. I don't like Alex Bregman anymore. I hate Alex Bregman. But with that being said, this is a guy that he has a 283 career batting average, a 142 OPS plus career wise, a 902 OPS, slugs 521 in his career so far, has 105 career total home runs, 41 in 2019, 2-time All-Star. He actually got drafted at LSU as a shortstop, moved over to third because Correa was at short.
Both of them cheaters.
Both of them are cheaters. I'm not going to lie. Before this cheating scandal, I was a big Alex Bregman. I liked Alex Bregman a lot. I thought he was
Same.
I thought he was a really good player. I mean, he was a really good player. And 2020 rolled around and, everything went down. And it everything that he said, it made me angry because, like you shouldn't just, forget it happened, to say the least. I mean, he has 12 defensive run saves in his career. he's a good player, and it's disappointing to see stuff like that happen. I mean, even guys like Altuve, and I know I put Altuve at 2, I believe, on my second baseman's list, but he proved to do something before that happened. Bregman did not. So that is the reason he is my number 6.
Number 5, I have Bregman as well. He dropped off my ranking quite a bit. I feel like he was probably the number 1 guy before the whole cheating scandal. But ever since then, Astros have proven that they're nothing more than just a bunch of cheaters. Every single one of them struggled in 2020. Bregman he's got to prove to me that he can still put up numbers without the trash can, like he's got to prove himself before he climbs up back this list. Gosh, it still makes me mad that players that were actually good before the cheating scandal cheated, and like they were good players before, but they felt the need to cheat in order to win, and I have a problem with that. Obviously puts you at an unfair advantage. It's dishonest. It's not right. But obviously, I'm not going to try to hurt Bregman too bad with this ranking. I feel like 5 is fair. But he hit 242 with an 801 OPS last year. That's the lowest he's had since 2016 when he first came up. Yeah, it just sucks to see Alex Bregman being a part of this cheating scandal, because I really did like him too. He was kind of the Trevor Bauer before Trevor Bauer. He was a YouTuber. He was interacting with fans and stuff, and the whole cheating scandal came out, and he was completely silent. And his infamous words now, the commissioner made his report, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Shut up. That's probably the worst comeback the worst answer you could possibly have. So what? Answer the questions. He just completely avoided the questions, and the commissioner made his report. That's not. You didn't even apologize for anything that you did. Do you feel any remorse? The commissioner made his report. Shut up. Alex Bregman. I'm not even going to talk about his stats. You kind of said everything, but we need to make an episode about the 2017 Astros. We got to do that sometime.
We do.
So we need to do that sometime soon. So we can just bash the Astros. Also, just because we have to throw this into every episode, because we hate Alex Bregman, we hate the Astros. We also hate Liberty Media, DFA Liberty Media. Who's your number 5? Media. Who's your number 5?
My number 5 is Jose Ramirez.
What'd you show me?
Look at your phone. At number 5, okay. Jose Ramirez. He has a career OPS plus of 123, career OPS of 148, slugging of 494. He recently has been a good power guy. When he first came up, he was not. But 2017, 2018, all-star years, 29 home runs, 39 home runs, 105 RBIs in 2018. He had a great year. He came 3rd in MVP voting. He came 2nd in 2020. He had 17 home runs, hit 281. I didn't think he was 3rd in the MVP voting, but that's where, or 2nd in MVP voting, but that's where he was. And he's a great player. He has 12 defensive runs saved in his career. He's good defensively. Obviously he's not the superstar you see, but I think he's very good. And you see reports swirling around that he was going to get traded. I don't think he will. I think he'll be with the Indians for at least a few more years. I think he'll be a third baseman for a while. And for that. He is at my number.
I have to throw this in because I don't think he's going to be with the Indians very much longer.
You don't think so?
Because the Indians are getting a new name.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's not what you're expecting me to say. I know. Okay, moving on. My number 4, Luke, is Oakland Athletics third baseman Matt Chapman. Possibly one of the most underrated, most underappreciated players in baseball. This guy's up there with Trey Turner, with the most underrated players in baseball.
Agreed.
Nobody talks about Matt Chapman, and this guy. I mean, you hear about Justin Turner all the time. You hear about Rafael Devers more than you hear about Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman's just proven that he's legit. Easily the best defensive third baseman in baseball. No doubt about it. In my mind, I don't know if that's the same in your mind, but guy's insane defensively. He's won back-to-back Gold Gloves. He didn't win it last year, but probably deserved it. He won back-to-back Gold Gloves in 2018 and 2019. Easily one of the most underrated players in baseball. He could probably be anywhere on this countdown, like top 5. But he puts up solid offensive numbers as well. Last 3 years, you want to know how many defensive runs saved this guy has?
How many?
This is insane. This might be the highest number of defensive runs saved I've ever said. Is this right? Oh, wait, hang on.
Oh, in the last 5 seasons?
Or no, the last 3 years.
Well, his first 3 years were like ridiculous.
Wait, hang on.
Like,
Let me.
This year he kind of had.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, bro. This is insane. Okay. So, defensive run saved last 3 years. This is unbelievable. Wait. So, for his career, 4 years, total of 421 games, 65 defensive runs saved. At third base, no one. This is the hardest position. This is probably the hardest position besides catcher on the diamond to play. But catchers get days off. At third base, you don't get days off. Matt Chapman's out there every day. He's putting up these types of defensive numbers. Like, how is that possible? Like, this guy is literally the modern day equivalent to Brooks Robinson. Is that fair to say? I think so. Like,
I think that's fair.
I know Brooks and Robinson. I don't think they calculated defensive runs saved in those days, but so it's kind of hard to compare the two. But I know how good Brooks Robinson, like, I know how good he's said to be. Matt Chapman is putting up like insane numbers that I would assume are like out of this world good. And it's kind of everyone on the Oakland A's because they had Marcus Semien. He was underrated. Mark Canna's underrated. Matt Olson's underrated. Matt Chapman is the most underrated player on that team. He had an 8.3 WAR in both 2018 and 2019, 16.6 in a 2-year stretch as a third baseman. He hit 24 bombs in 2018, 36 bombs with 91 RBIs in 2019, career OPS of 839, a career OPS plus of 127. But, obviously not the best offensive guy, but was an all-star in 2019, won 2 Gold Gloves, came in the top 7 in the MVP voting in both 2018 and 2019. Last year, kind of a down year, 232 average, but obviously did not walk either. That's another thing. He does need to walk a little bit more, I think, but obviously his OPS was still really good, an 812 OPS, 122 OPS plus, despite hitting just 232. This guy's never going to be a high average guy, but he does walk a fair amount. Maybe cut down on strikeouts a little bit, but his defense makes up for that. it's insane what Matt Chapman's able to do year after year after year. And pick this guy up on fantasy. Like this guy could easily be he could potentially be like a top 20 pick in fantasy or something like that. But he's probably going a little later than that because people are sleeping on Matt Chapman because people don't hear anything about him. He's not the flashiest guy, but he's only 27 years old. He turns 28 on April 28th. So this guy's in his prime right now. Please, like, keep an eye out for this guy. He's the real deal over in Oakland. So number 4, Luke, I'll send it off to you. Can I guess?
4, Matt Chapman.
Hey, let's go.
You said it best. I mean, this guy has an absurd 65 defensive runs saved in 4 years.
Hang on. Wait. I think wasn't one of didn't he play shortstop a bit last year? For some reason, he played shortstop. I think.
Did he?
I think he did that. Wait.
Did he actually?
He played 1 game at shortstop last year. What the heck? And I had a defensive run save there too. So it's 64 at third base. So, but yeah, 66 yes. If you count both. So this guy can play short too. What a guy.
I mean, he's definitely going to be one of the best defensive third basemen. He's definitely the best defensive third baseman right now. There's no doubt about it. The guy also has elite pop in his bat. He had 23 his rookie year, 14 his rookie year, 24, 36, and then 10 this year. Middle of the order guy for the Athletics. He doesn't hit too well for average. He does have a 127 OPS plus, which is very good. He slugs 503. He's a defensive machine at third base. I think you said it best. I mean, everything you said, dead on. He's a defensive wizard. And I mean, I wanted to put him higher on this list. His bat does a little bit affect that, but if we're talking pure defense, easily the best third baseman in the league right now. So
we're at number 3, top 3 third baseman.
Yeah.
I did want to put Matt Chapman higher, but I just think at number 3, I feel like maybe Matt Chapman could have been 3. This guy at 4. Cleveland Indians, you talked about him a little earlier. Jose Ramirez at number 3. Really bounced back in 2020. He had down 2019. Still wasn't bad. It's still an OPS over 800, but his OPS is approaching 1,000. 3 of the last 4 years. The lowest of 2017, 2018, and 2020. The lowest OPS he had was 939. That is very, very, very good. Well above average. Career OPS of 123, and that takes into consideration he came up in 2013, did play every day, didn't really put up big numbers until he was a full-time starter in 2016 when he hit 312 with an 825 OPS, 114 OPS plus. He's just always been kind of an under-the-radar guy. And something that people don't talk about with Jose Ramirez, this guy has speed too. He's stolen 127. He has 127 homers and 127 stolen bases in his career. No one talks about Jose Ramirez's speed. But his slugging percentage, I'd say I'm not going to consider 2019 because it was a really down year. Kind of out of the ordinary for him. But his slugging in 2017, 583, 2018, 552, and 2020, 607. This guy has come in the top 3 in the MVP voting 3 of the last 4 years. 3-time Silver Slugger, 2-time All-Star. Also got some MVP votes in 2016 as well. This guy came in second in the MVP voting to Jose Abreu. Arguably could have won it. Arguably should have won it because he had a 163 OPS plus. That's insane. I mean, he can do it all, man. I mean, how's his defense? I had it pulled up. Only one defensive run save last 3 years, but I mean, he's kind of an average defender, maybe a bit of above average, because you're not going to find many guys who can put up a positive defensive run saved at the hot corner. But Jose Ramirez is bad as elite. 2019, after his down 2019, people were wondering if this guy was even like that great anymore, and he answered all those questions with a very strong showing in 2020. And I'm not going to weigh that too heavily because obviously it's a short season. I know I say that like every top 10 episode we do, probably at least 5 times, but per episode. I'm not. That's actually the hard truth. I should probably stop saying that, but yeah, he's my top. I can't keep him outside of the top 3. So, your number 3, Luke. Who is it?
My number 3 is former Washington National third baseman and current Los Angeles Angels third baseman Anthony Rendon.
Proceed.
Anthony Rendon, we saw it firsthand as Braves fans. This guy's a pest. This guy literally hit. He probably had 3 hits a game against us every time we played him. He
never hit that many bombs against us.
He didn't. He was always just singles and extra base hits. Yeah. I mean, he has a career batting average of 290, an OPS plus of 127, 490 slugging percentage. He has, he's every year he's going to give you 25 to 30 home runs. Not a, he's not going to lead you. He's not going to lead the league in home runs, but he's going to put up numbers. Very underrated defensively too. Has 29 career defensive runs saved, which is very good. I think he's very underrated at third base. With Nationals, he had 13 defensive runs saved in 2016, 8 in 2017. Since then, he's been sort of just average right there. But he came in 3rd in MVP voting in 2019. He was 5th in 2014, actually, 10th this year. So he's been in a few MVP votings. And he's consistent. He's consistent with the bat, and him and Mike Trout and even David Fletcher at the top of that lineup. I want to see that team be good. I want to see that team make the playoffs. Hopefully the Angels can make the playoffs. Obviously their pitching's always been their problem. But Anthony Rendon at my number 3.
My number 2 is Anthony Rendon. I feel like he could have easily been number 1 for me, but I went with him at number 2, just because I feel like number 1 just had more defense. But Rendon is quite possibly the best offensive first baseman in baseball. Quite potentially. Had a down 2020. He only hit 9 bombs with 31 RBIs. He hit under 300 for the first time since 2016, but OPS was still up there with 915, so it wasn't really a down year. He also led all of baseball with 10 double plays grounded into, or hit into, I guess. But like that doesn't cost him anything. That didn't weigh anything in my decision to put him at number 2. This guy also was one of the most underrated players in the game. I feel like recently he has gotten more recognition. Thank goodness. But he led all of baseball in 2019 with 126 RBIs, 34 bombs, 44 doubles in back-to-back seasons, which led the National League. Came in 3rd in the MVP voting in 2019. Won his 2nd career Silver Slugger. has come in the top 10 in the MVP voting 4 times, get 11th another time. He could do it all with a bat. If he can, do what he does on a consistent basis. I cannot like bases. I know we're talking about baseball, but basis. I feel like he can definitely help the Angels reach the playoffs. I think the entire world's pulling for the Angels to get some pitching, but they just can't do it.
I think everybody's just pulling for Mike Trout to get in the playoffs. Realistically, everybody just wants to see Mike Trout in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, Rendon has his ring from 2019, but it's a mystery to me. I mean, he's won 2 Silver Sluggers, Rendon. He's only been an All-Star 1 time his entire career.
Wow,
that's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm shocked at that only 1 All-Star appearance, but he'll be an All-Star next year. You heard it here first. If we have an All-Star game, we're gonna have an All-Star game. I hope we do. If we don't, that's gonna be tragic. But wait, yeah, you're number 2.
My number 2 is Nolan Arenado.
Oh, we got the same number 1. Nice.
Nolan Arenado. I think behind Matt Chapman, this guy's the second best defensive third baseman. He's a wizard. That has nothing to do with Coors Field, his defense. You can say what you want about his hitting. Obviously, I know you had him at 6, but the guy defensively, what he can do, I mean, I know Matt Chapman is probably the best defender, but this guy, Nolan Arenado, I think he makes the craziest plays. I mean, the plays this guy makes is unreal. The arm strength he has. I mean, I have seen videos of him throwing from deep in third base, underhanded, and making it there on the fly. It's ridiculous, the arm strength this guy has. With the bat, Coors Field, you can say what you want. He's like still, me. Yeah, like you. He has a career batting average of 293, OPS plus of 120, 235 career home runs, obviously Coors Field effect. 41 in 2019. This guy is a 5-time All-Star. Let me pull up his. I think I believe it was 110 defensive runs saved in his career, in his 8-year career. He's been in the MVP voting every year besides this year for the last 5-6 years. Came 3rd in 2018, 4th in 2017, 5th in 2016. I mean, the guy's a Gold Glover and the best defender in the National League at third base for sure. And he's at my number 2. And with our number 1, I'll hand it off to you.
Why are you handing off to me? You don't want to go first for number 1?
No, it was your go. It's you.
Okay. My number 1. I mean, if y'all been following baseball the last few years, I'm a big fan of this guy.
Austin Riley.
Kyle Seager is my number 1. Just kidding. Manny Machado is my number 1, and I'm not a big fan of him, but he is the best third baseman in baseball, in my opinion.
I have mixed opinions on Manny Machado as a person, or as a player,
person.
Player, what he does on the field. I don't question what the stats say, but I don't like him per se, to say the least. But,
yeah, he intentionally stepped on Jesus Aguilar. He had a bunch of beef with Josh Donaldson for literally no reason. Tried to throw a bat at the pitcher back in Baltimore. This guy's a hothead, but I mean, he's a good player, and he is very similar to. You haven't really seen it too much recently because he did briefly have a stint at shortstop, but this guy makes plays very similar to Nolan Arenado as well. Insane throwing arm. Can make an off-balance throw from the coach's box down the third baseline. It's ridiculous. This guy possibly has. I don't know if would be interesting to see who has a better throwing arm at third base, Machado or Arenado, or Matt Chapman. I guess you could make an argument for Chapman, but he doesn't. Chapman just has a great glove, and he has a good arm, but I don't know if he's like that great because I haven't really. Because who watches Oakland? I'm just gonna throw Oakland under both there, but nobody watches Oakland. But yeah, Manny Machado, I have my number one spot. Obviously came up with the Orioles. It was the third overall pick in the 2010 MLB draft. Made his debut in 2012 at the age of 20. He is still just 28 years old. Even though he's been around a while, he's still only 28. But year after year, this guy just rakes. Has hit over 30 home runs since 2015. We're not going to count 2020 because there's no way you can hit 30 home runs in 60 games. But this guy did play in all 60 games. Hit over 300 for the first time in his career in 2020. But batting average really doesn't matter when you're just that great defensively. But this guy doesn't really strike out too much. He did strike out 128 times, which is a career high in 2019. But that was kind of a down year as well. He had OPS under 800. He kind of had like he had a great year and then he had a down year, great year, down year. It kind of had a pattern there. Led all baseball with 24 double plays grounded into in 2019. Didn't I just say that for somebody else? I don't. I'm confusing myself. No, who was that? Oh no, that was Anthony Rendon last year, but that who cares about that? Machado, I don't know how he doesn't get an MVP conversation year after year. I mean, I get Biden in 2019, but he's come in the top 10 in MVP voting 4 times since 2013. He's only won 2 Gold Gloves, which is ridiculous, but obviously there are other guys that I think are a little better defensively, like Arenado and Chapman, but Machado is definitely still up there.
I think Arenado is probably the main reason that he doesn't have more Gold Gloves in the National League.
He's only been in the National League for like 2 years, 2.5 years.
But
I don't really know how it really works because in 2018 he was with both the Orioles and the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he would be able to win a Gold Glove for the American League or National League. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
If I don't know what league he would win it for if he was awarded a Gold Glove, or if you're with 2 teams, you're ineligible to win a Gold Glove. I don't know how that works. I doubt you're ineligible, but but if I'm being honest, Machado is just he does the same thing every year. That's just rake and a career OPS of 825, 121 OPS plus, and that defense again is elite. That is possibly one of the best left side of the infields of all time. Him and Tatis. I know we've only seen a little bit of Tatis, but everyone knows he's going to be an absolute monster for years to come. So, Machado is my number one.
Same.
No way. I thought you had shoot. Who's some other third baseman? Brian Anderson. I thought he was your number one.
Nah, he was almost.
Okay, we'll talk about honorable mentions in a minute. Go ahead.
But anyways, I think you said it best. This guy just rakes. He 280 career average, 121 OPS plus, 30 plus home runs every year since 2015, 4-time All-Star. And he's like Arenado and Chapman. He's a defensive wizard. I think those are the top 3 defensive third baseman in the league. Chapman at 1, Arenado, and Manny Machado. They do it better than anybody. Machado has 98 career defensive runs saved, 27 in 2013, 18 in 2015. Since then, he sort of leveled off a little bit, but still, I mean, 98 defensive runs saved for a career so far is awesome. And the guy rakes. So, yeah. There's a
That's an
reason he.
That's an
What?
interesting word of choice there.
Yeah.
That is absolutely awesome. Okay, finish up. Okay,
But
go ahead.
there's a reason he got $300 million. I think there's maybe two players that are worth $300 million, but contract wise, I mean,
Freddie Freeman.
say what you want. No, I think Mike Trout's actually the only player that deserves over $300 million. But anyways,
No, he's $400 million.
Facts. But yeah, Manny
what
Machado
the heck?
is
Mike
my
Trout
number one.
deserves $500 million.
Mike Trout just deserves all the money in the world. We should just give Bill Gates money. So with my honorable mentions, Gio Urshela. I think Gio Urshela, in the next few years will probably be top 10. Rafael Devers, Yohan Moncada. My roommate was very mad
your
at me
roommate's
that I
not gonna
didn't-
like it. Your roommate's
Yeah,
not gonna like that.
my roommate, I heard it before I left. He asked me if he was in my top 10, and I said no, and he wasn't happy with me. Brian Anderson and Corey Seager.
Kyle, not Corey.
Sorry, Kyle. Sorry.
We'll talk about Corey next episode. We promise. It's going to be shortstops next episode. So my honorable mentions, a lot of the same ones as yours, but notably absent from my top 10 was Chris Bryant. Honestly, I think if he can have a bounce back season next year, he's definitely going to be back in the top 10. He's got a couple years recently where he's kind of disappointed, and you haven't really been hearing much about him. But I am a little biased because I weigh like up and coming players a little bit more, so that's why I gave Yohan Moncada the number 10 spot. But I feel like Bryant could definitely be up there as well. Gio Urshela's just barely didn't make my list. Same with Suarez. Brian Anderson, Kyle Seager, Brian Hayes, another guy who's going to be an absolute stud. This guy, I think Hayes is definitely going to be a top 10 third baseman in his future. Same with Alec Boehm of the Phillies. Very high on both of those guys. But yeah, hopefully, who knows what's going to happen next, or what this list is going to look like next year. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like, some of these guys are going to fall off. I don't know if like Josh Donaldson's going to be able to bounce back from down 2020, but I feel like if Donaldson doesn't perform in 2020, I think, or 2021, he's going to fall off this list. For you, like Suarez, he's very borderline for me. But also Brian Anderson is also like a very underrated guy, but probably the best player on the Marlins right now because the Marlins are just the scrappiest team ever. Him and Miguel Rojas. Though Rojas came out of nowhere last year and just was an absolute stud. So it'll be interesting to see. Watch that next year. So with that being said, that's our top 10 third baseman right now. However, we're not done here. We got a Chip Carey wallet segment. We had a few last episodes. So, I just realized it's been a little while since we've actually recorded a podcast.
It has. We
live streamed, but
we live streamed. Was that Friday? Took yesterday off.
Was that something we recorded?
It was Henry. It was
with
Wednesday.
Henry.
On Wednesday.
That was Wednesday. So
was Wednesday. It's been
4 days. Is that right? Yeah, 4 days. That's a record for us because we were busy boys. So we're like, talking Braves. It's gonna be fun. Obviously, I did have to recreate a new logo. It's Talking Braves Pod on Instagram. Talking Braves on all platforms. Our email is still tomahawktalkofficial@gmail.com because you can't change your email thing. I might have to create a new one though, so I don't know. If you do want to email us, it'll be there. But if you want to DM us on Instagram, it's going to be Tomahawk, or not. It's not going to be Tomahawk. I'm still not used to saying that. It's going to be Talking Braves Pod on Instagram. So please give us a follow. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's also Talking Braves Pod. And hopefully, well, we will let you know if we ever live stream. So we'll post that on our Instagram story. So I got to find a wallop real quick. So last episode we had Tyler Flowers. So also, hopefully in 2021, we get a fair share of walloped, because I noticed a little trend, because he had like 3 walloped calls in 2017. He had like maybe like 5 in 2018 or 2019, and then or like maybe 10 in 2019, and then last year he had like 15, and it was a 60-game season, so not bad. What was the last one that we did? Oh, all right. This one takes us back to May 27th, 2018, in Boston.
May 27th, 2018.
Don't look it up. I see you looking down.
Why not? No, I can't find it. May 27th, 2018. Ron Acuna.
No.
Ozzy Albies.
No.
Freddie Freeman.
No.
Kurt Suzuki.
No.
Andrew Ciarte.
No.
Dansby Swanson.
No.
Current Brave? Or no? No more?
No. Oh, wait, I forgot. Oh, yeah, I keep asking, though. So he's not a current Brave? Nope.
Nick Markakis.
No.
Cameron Maben.
Go back a little too far there.
Let's see. Who was on the team in 2018?
You're struggling with this one.
Johan. No, it's not Johan. Is it not? Is it Johan? It's not Johan, is it?
Nope. He's still a Brave. Come on.
Oh, good point.
Making a Cody Bellinger face right now.
I have no clue. I give up.
Look up the roster. I'll give you permission to look up the
Was
roster.
he on that? Was he on the postseason roster?
Last year?
No, in 2018.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think so, yeah.
Luke Jackson. Rene Rivera. Jose Bautista.
Nope.
Lucas Duda.
No.
Charlie Culberson.
No. I hope we get it. I don't know if there's a Culberson walloped. I hope there is.
Lane Adams.
No. That's a blast from the past.
Danny Santana.
No.
Adam Duvall.
No. You think Adam Duvall didn't even hit a homer in 2018 with us?
Jose Bautista? Did I say Jose Bautista?
Yes, you did.
Ryan Flaherty?
No. Oh my gosh,
Rio
this is
Ruiz?
long. What?
Rio Ruiz?
No. He wasn't the postseason roster?
Peter Borges?
No.
Preston Tucker?
No. Oh my gosh, you were struggling.
Carlos Perez?
Oh, I forgot about that guy. No.
Chris Stewart?
No.
That's literally the entire roster. I just named the entire roster.
There's one
That's
guy you
not on this-
haven't named.
Dustin Peterson.
He was with us in 2020. I brought up his name earlier this episode. Not gonna say how earlier, but
Dude, I don't. Is he a pitcher?
No.
Dude, I have
This
no
was in
clue.
Boston. There was a DH. Oh my god.
I have no clue.
Ugh. Look up 2020 Braves roster and just think about who is. I'm not going to tell you until you get it. I mean, you literally looked up the 2018 roster and you still didn't get it. What is wrong with you? Maybe you just thought you named him and you didn't. I don't know.
I already said Nick Markakis, so it can't be him. My phone's at 1%. It's gonna die.
Oh goodness, you're not in good shape here. If your phone dies, I'll just tell you.
This is 2021 roster.
This is the biggest struggle you've had. I apologize for the silence for y'all listening.
Dude,
you're
there's literally
listening.
nobody on this team that what?
You haven't named him. I promise you haven't named this guy. I don't know how, because you named him before in other episodes. Maybe I think you just thought you named this guy, but you didn't. Because how could you forget this guy?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know who it is. And my phone just died.
Okay, you want to just you remember who it was last episode?
Tyler Flowers. It's Tyler Flowers again.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Tyler Flowers again.
There's no way he hit 2 home runs in his career, bro. Dude, you're capping, dude. There's no way he's actually hit more than 2 home runs in his career.
Okay, so he hit this one. This was actually a 0-0 ball game in the second inning. Off of Chris Sale. It was a 3-run bomb in Boston.
Was
and
it?
Chip Carey gave us a wallop. So, without further ado, don't forget Tyler Flowers again. That's another thing you got to remember. You know,
Yeah,
next time.
I want to forget Tyler Flowers though.
All right.
Anyways, sorry.
Hey, the pitch.
High fly ball walloped. And Tyler Flowers with a 3-run homer gives Atlanta the lead.
Oh, goodness. That went over the monster seats. So, yeah, maybe he was thinking right along with him. What do you think? Woo.
Do you hear Jess Simpson with a little woo there at the end? Anyways, before we wrap it up, we do want to give a quick we already did, but once again, a big thank you to Anchor for sponsoring this episode. We really appreciate it. Please, if you want to go start your own podcast, go start with Anchor. It's the easiest way to get your podcast out to all platforms, and it's completely free. So use my promo code Braves News on SeatGeek for $20 off your purchase of $30 more. Go get your spring training tickets. Go get your regular season tickets. Go get tickets for basically anything you could possibly imagine. So, socials, the email, all that stuff is going to be in the description of this episode. Before we end with one of our top moments of the decade, you got anything, Luke?
No.
Any final remarks? Nothing?
I'm excited to watch some Braves baseball tomorrow. That'll be fun.
Yes.
First game since Game 7.
Be sure to watch that. So,
Yeah. Tune in.
this one should... I think you're going to get this one on your first guess because the date is pretty memorable. I think you're going to remember this one.
Oh.
For
I'm
a
under
top...
pressure.
This is our 11th best moment of the decade. I really don't know what we're going to end the episode on once we're done with this countdown. We might just do this over and over. We might just start the list over again. Anyways, number 11 on this countdown is from March 29th, 2018.
March 29th.
Yes,
So that was a 2019?
2018.
No, 2018. Oh, I think I was at this game. What is this? Nick Markakis' walk-off home run?
No.
What?
Look, I hear your face. You were so confused. Yes, it is. It is.
Okay,
Just wanted to see
okay.
your reaction.
I was at this game. I remember this because I remember going to this game, and then I went to. I was going on vacation because it was spring break, and I don't remember where I was going, somewhere. But
Back when spring break was a thing. Huh. Good
Facts.
times, huh?
Dude, I miss when spring break was a thing. Back in the
Same.
good old days.
I
But
need a
anyways.
spring break. Anyways, this is Nate Markakis' walk-off homer on opening day. So here's a little background information for y'all before we end the episode. We found actually no, wait, hang on. Oh, we have it's a comeback, and then we leading up to the walk-off. So as well, because we came back in this game as well. We were down 5-0 to the Phillies in the sixth inning of the first game of the 2018 season. Freeman came to the plate with a man on and launched a 2-run homer to cut the deficit to 5-2. Braves bats were fighting but failed to score anymore in the top of the sixth, or in the bottom of the sixth, and fell silent again in the seventh. Ozzy Albies hammered a solo homer to lead off the eighth, cutting the Phillies lead to just 2. Freeman then walked. Kurt Suzuki walked 2 batters after Freeman. Pass ball and error on the same play. Freeman came in to score to bring us to within 1 run. Peter Borges entered the game for Suzuki to pinch run, and he scampered home on Preston Tucker's game-tying single. Arodys Vizcaíno struck out the side in order in the 9th inning. So we entered the bottom of the 9th, tied 5-5 with all the momentum on our side. Charlie Culberson legged out an infield single, and then Ender Inciarte bunted him over to second with only 1 out. Ozzy then flew out, and then Freeman was walked intentionally to set up the force at any base with 2 outs. And that brought up Nick Markakis, who made them pay with a first walk-off home run in his 13-year career. This was the start of a special season for Atlanta, as this wound up being the season in which the Braves won their first division title since 2013. So here's the comeback leading up to the walk-off homer.
That one is long, good for Freddie.
Not over for 5 anymore.
is dominating them. Turns around to hit right-handed now. And he's into launch mode. That ball is hammered. Herrera's not getting that. That ball is gone. Ozzy Albies hits a solo home run, and the Braves have pulled to within 2. Braves are a swing away from tying it. Here it is. Swing and drive. We're tied.
And then here's the walk-off. So, until next time, my name is David Waters.
And I'm Luke
You're
Hardin.
muted. Let's just try it again. My name is David Waters.
And I'm Luke Hardin.
Thank you all for listening, and we will catch you all in the next episode where we will count down our top 10 shortstops in baseball. See y'all.
Peace, guys.
Swing and a drive.